Hey guys, Biza here, and welcome to week number 7 of the MPL. We are your San Francisco 49Tales, and today we are going up against Orabomb and the Houston Megahorns. This match is actually up on time, so thank goodness for that, but as you can tell by my voice, I am still sick as hell. My voice sounds like crap, so I unfortunately was not able to live record it as I told you guys yesterday during the post-com of Mystics battle. I'm really disappointed I was not able to live record this because it was a really fun match. I quite enjoyed this despite being sick. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Please check the link in the description to go to Aura's channel. Go subscribe to him so you can go see his side of the battle. I believe he did it live comm because he does all of his battles live comms, and I think he did. I'm pretty sure he did this live comm. But yeah, so we can go. Let's go over the team really quickly. What I'm bringing my defensive Rocky Helmet Zapdos. We got Choice Scarf Zelf. We have Life Orb Gengar, Life Orb Nidoking, our specially defensive Ferrothorn, and another defensive Blastoise. Because Aura has quite a lot of threatening physical mons, and as you can see, he has Mega Medicham, which is huge power. It's pure power, if I do say so myself. Yeah. And so I wanted to have some extra defensively bulky mons to be able to handle it somewhat. So yeah, it's not too shabby on my part. I'm actually running, instead of Volt Switch on my Zapdos, I packed U-Turn on it because he has Lantern and Landorus, so I wanted to be able to get my Zapdos out and pivot without having the threat of Lando stopping it or getting the Volt Absorb off from the Lantern. And you will see that actually kind of maybe possibly plays a fact in this. Alright, so let's go ahead and hit that play button and we can see what's going on. It's like 3,000 degrees in my house, plus I'm sick, so I have a fever, so it's nice and hot in here. I quite enjoy it. So I lead off with Zapdos, as he leads off with his Mega Medicham. As, you know, I'm just like, well, that's fantastic. It's Mega Medicham. This thing's gonna just, you know, do some damage. So he goes out, he stays in, he gets the Mega Evolve, gets a Fake Out off, so I know that he does, in fact, pack the Fake Out. But he's gonna take a little bit of Rocky Helmet damage, as I believe I was just going for a U-turn. Because why the heck not? So we get some damage off from the Rocky Helmet. He switches out right here because he doesn't want his Mega Medicham taking any unnecessary damage, because he won't kill me even with an Ice Punch. So he goes out into his Tyranitar, because this thing is probably especially defensive, especially because it's a Tyranitar in the sand, so it's going to definitely be decent damage. That's where I reveal the U-turn right there. So I go for a U-turn to get on out of there, do a decent chunk of damage to Tyranitar, considering Zapdos is, I think it has a negative attack nature too and everything. So I go into my Ferrothorn because this thing kind of wall the Tyranitar is nothing that it really wants to do. So I'm like, you know, I'm gonna take my opportunity to get my Stealth Rocks up right now. And then I'm pretty much like, let's see, because the Ferrothorn doesn't really do all that much. So I'm just gonna, you know, I don't want anything else taking a close combat. So you know what the heck, Ferrothorn sitting here, take a close combat. Do some Iron Barbs damage off onto Lucario, sacrifice off Ferrothorn because I don't really see him doing much. He got the Stealth Rocks up, that's, you know, that's all I want him to do. And then I see right there that his Lucario is Life Orb. So I'm like, okay, it's not Scarfed. So I'm going to go out into my Zapdos here because it's got -1 defense, so I figure that he's going to switch out again. He actually goes into his Lantern right here, or is this Lantern, or is this, he goes on to his Landorus. I was thinking about possibly going for an HP Ice, but really that was like a very small chance of me actually doing that. I figured let's just go for a U-turn because I figured the Lucario was going to switch. Let's get some switch initiative. So I go out into Blastoise right here. So I can either go for a Scald or I can go for an Ice Beam. I go for a Scald because I figure that that's good for anything that he wants to switch in. So he has his Lantern. And I actually have something specifically for the Lantern on this Blastoise that you will see. So he goes for a U-turn. I am a physically defensive, and that does a decent chunk of damage for me being physically defensive. Excuse me. One quick second. Throat. Alright, so he goes out into Dan the Lantern. I don't really know how Dan is a Lantern, but alright. We go for a Scald. We get the crit. So it does like 6 HP instead of only 3 HP of damage. So he figures that he's got me here. So he figures that I'm going to switch. Or he figures I'm going to Mirror Coat, possibly. So that's why he actually stays in. and goes for a Scald. So he actually outspeeds me, and Blastoise is 11 base higher than his Lantern, and I actually have a little bit of speed investment, which means that he has to have a good chunk of speed investment into his Lantern to outspeed me. But I stay in, eat that Scald up, and actually go for an Earthquake, which does a huge chunk of damage to this Lantern. And so I actually go, and then I have a little bit of an over prediction here because I thought that he would Volt Switch right now and go possibly into anything else, but he doesn't. He goes for a Scald, so I go for a Scald, predicting him to Volt Switch, which unfortunately he does not do, and the Scald obviously does not kill. That's 4 Scalds, by the way, guys, and not a single Scald burn. I think that's like the first time in the history of Pokemon that that's ever happened, just to get you guys know. So he goes for that. He's able to live that, and I go for an EQ this turn, which is when he goes for the Volt Switch, so that's pretty fan-freaking-tastic. I'm able to eat that up because the Blastoise is just naturally bulky, and I believe he goes out into his Frostlass. So the Frostlass eats up, does blah, 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 blah. The Frostlass takes 25 damage to the rocks, and then gets a good chunk of damage to the EQ. Now, this play, I don't really know what was going on in Aura's head, why he went for an Ice Beam, because I don't know why I would switch when I was so low, and Ice Beam is resisted, so it doesn't kill the Blastoise, and so I'm able to get the free kill off on this Frostlass. I'm not really sure what he was predicting there. I have no reason why I would switch, so I don't really know why he went for Ice Beam instead of Shadow Ball or anything else. But that was what happened. So Blastoise stays in. Now, I'm not sure if his Lando or his Tyranitar is a Stealth Rocker. So I actually went for the Rapid Spin, predicting him to go for Stealth Rocks. Because I figured that he'd want to just like get the Stealth Rocks up in case so I could die to the sand or something. But that didn't work. That plan didn't work. Obviously, had I went for Scald, it would have been way better because he missed his Stone Edge. But obviously, if he hit his Stone Edge, then it wouldn't have mattered anyway. So we'll go with that. We'll go with, well, I was hoping for him to not get hacked. So, you know, we'll go with that. So I go on into Nidoking here as I'm thinking now that he's probably choiced into the, whatchamacallit. So I actually go for the prediction here, predicting him to switch out. And I go for the Ice Beam on the Tyranitar. He's got the Yachi Berry, but I am a Life Orb max special attack Nidoking, and that Yachi Berry don't mean jack shit when it's 4 times super effective. So Landorus goes down, which is a huge threat, which is great, and then he goes into his fucking Medicham here, which I'm just like, oh, alright, free kill. So I believe I sacrifice off my Gengar right here, because he literally does nothing for me at this point, so I'm just like, yeah, let's just sacrifice him off, in case he wanted to fake out, because maybe he thought I was scarfed or something, I don't know. Anyway, so I go out into Gengar. He goes for a Zen Headbutt, so Gengar's dead. I believe I go out into a Zelf? Oh no, I go out into Zapdos, because I don't think this, and now I'm thinking that he's not packing the Ice Punch. So I go out into that, threaten it out. I go for another U-turn, I believe, or do I go for Roost? I go for Roost. I go for Roost because I wasn't sure if he was going to attack with an Ice Punch or what. I wanted to see what he wanted to do. So now is when I'm sure that he's not packing the Ice Punch. So I just go for Roost to get all my HP back. So then I go for, I don't have any other choice but to go for a U-turn because my only other attacking move is Thunderbolt, which obviously would give Volt Absorb off onto Lantern, which I think is what he was trying to get again. Was me going for Thunderbolt on his, or Thunderbolt or Volt Switch on his. Why would I be packing Volt Switch when I just showed you U-turn? I've showed U-turn several times. That'd be stupid. Packing the Thunderbolt to get the Volt Absorb off, but that doesn't happen. So I go for a U-turn, which kills off his Lantern. I go into Navi because I don't know. And then he goes out into his Tyranitar. So I thought for sure that he would go for Pursuit, because that would kill my Zelf. So I go for a U-turn. It is a roll to kill, and I don't get the roll. And so I'm like, okay, Pursuit. Now Zelf's dead, and I'm like, oh, he didn't Pursuit. Oh, happy days, happy days. So I go out into Zapdos because I thought that maybe he was going for Crunch. But he actually goes for Stone Edge. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I would have thought for sure that he would have gone for Crunch, but he didn't. He went for Stone Edge. Had I gone into Nidoking for the Stone Edge, it would have been better, but whatever. Then I find out right here that he's Scarfed because he outspeeds my Zapdos and he gets that all-important crit with me 20 HP left. Sorry. I go into that thing, Zelf, I go into Navi, go for another U-turn to take out the Tyranitar, so that way I go into Nidoking, because that forces the Mega Medicham out, because of reasons. Yeah, because I don't think because Lucario would not be able to one-shot the Nidoking, which means that it would be taking a huge chunk of damage from an Earth Power. So he has to go into Mega Medicham in order to kill me. So he goes for the Zen Headbutt, and yeah, that kills Nidoking. I wonder if I was Focus Sash there. That was a little risky there. I mean, the play would have been to go for Fake Out, then Zen Headbutt, but it doesn't really matter. So he's getting some damage off to the Sandstorm. So now I go to Navi, and I'm Scarf, so I outspeed both those last two Pokemon. So I just go for a Zen Headbutt. It's neutral. It's able to take out the Mega Medicham, because Mega Medicham is not the bulkiest of bulks, and I max attack. Luckily, the Sandstorm does end there, so I don't get any Sandstorm's damage. He goes down to his Life Orb Lucario, so I wasn't sure what he was going to go for. He goes for an Extreme Speed, so that does a little under half, so I'm like, okay, that's cool. So if I need to do 2 Zen Headbutts, we're good, and then Zen Headbutt misses. And I'm like, fuck, I just lost this match because of miss. And I live with 7 HP on the Extreme Speed. I go for a Zen Headbutt, I connect it this time, and it's able to take out the Lucario, and we were able to get a very narrow 1-0 victory against Aura. It was a very, very good match. Now you guys see why I really wish that I could have live commed it, because it was a very fun and intense match, especially on the end there. Literally when I missed my Zen Headbutt, I threw my pen down. I was just like, fuck, here we go again. But luckily, Zen Headbutt does, I think, 55 to 60% damage or something like that to Life Orb Lucario. So he was at about 50% health. So one Zen Headbutt is pretty much a guaranteed kill. I obviously didn't run the calcs on that during the match because there was no point, because there was only one choice on what to do, was just Zen Headbutt, Zen Headbutt, Zen Headbutt. So that's what happened. It was a very close 1-0 victory. A very fun match. I quite enjoyed it. Good predictions on both sides. So if you guys enjoyed, please see that like button down below. Remember to also click in the description to go to Aura's channel. So go subscribe to him. Go see his side of the batch, because at least his live comment, you're not hearing me with my scraggly voice of sickness. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, I guess I'll see you guys later.